Hello everybody, welcome to the Political Vigilante. My name is Graham Elwood. Well, we keep seeing how the corporate media is threatened by a real progressive message, the one that Bernie has or Tulsi has. They keep trying to prop up Elizabeth Warren as this sort of, she's a real progressive, but she's really just the most left-leaning of all of the corporate Democrats. And they're really trying to jam Biden down our throats. So there's these polls come out and they put stuff like this, clickbaity. More than 1/3 of voters want Bernie Sanders to drop out of the 2020 presidential race, a poll shows. So then people just get this and they don't even read the whole story or even go into the poll, and they just put the, see, everyone's tired of Bernie, he's old and dumb, he's so sick of this old nonsense. But Joe Biden, he's young and vital. It's just unbelievable. What they don't, and this is one of the things we've talked about before. So they'll put this big thing up there, but then in the meat of the article, they might actually give other points of view and other information and really break down these polls, because these polls usually go into very specific stuff. But this is a poll of 1,000 people that was taken by USA Today. This is what else is in the poll that they didn't, this just happened to get left out of the title. The only candidate in the poll who Democrats wanted to see drop out more was New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio. 42% of respondents say they want him to give up on the presidential elections. But 40% of poll respondents had enthusiasm for Sanders' candidacy, which is second only to former Vice President Joe Biden, for whom 51% of respondents expressed excitement. So that's left out. The title could have been Biden, Bernie 1 and 2 in terms of excitement for presidency and poll. They could have said that because that's what the poll said. But they chose to say 1/3 of those polled. Just that's 1/3 of those polled, right? Let's look at the title. 1/3 of voters, just all voters, want Bernie Sanders to drop out of the 2020 presidential race? 1/3. That's 33%. So that means what? 67% want him to stay in? And if this is like people who call themselves Democrats or Republicans, so that would mean 67% want him in. What percentage of Democrats want him to stay in? What percentage of independent voters want him to stay in? Right? So look at this though. This is not in the title either. Favorable, unfavorable, right? Donald Trump has a 56% favorable, 49, almost 50%. Robert Mueller, the Democratic Party, 50% unfavorable. The Republican Party, 51% unfavorable. Half of the people don't like, and only 35, 36% of the people polled. So only 1/3 of the people actually like either one of these parties. Nancy Pelosi, 54% unfavorable. They don't put that in the title. Over half of voters don't like Nancy Pelosi. Over half voters are, nobody's happy with either party. Congress, 60% of voters from both hate Congress. 60%. Boy, that's not it. How come this isn't in there? Congress has a 22% favorability. That's a horrible favorable rating. Horrible. Who did they poll? What's the age category? Well, look at this. So 18 to 34 is only 25% of the is only 25% of the people polled, because this was a telephone poll. Yeah. So this group that does not own a home phone at all must have been, crashing at their parents' house or something, or they have like a friend with kids that has a home phone because they have an alarm or I don't know what, right? So the percentage of people 50 or older is over half, right? Over half are over the age of 50 and up, right? Not counting the refused. That's who's polled. So not a sampling of America, but let's see what's the diversity rate. Oh, it's 70% white people. 11, come on. White people represent about 37, 38% of the population, not 70%. So let's go back and rewrite this a little bit. Let's say more than 1/3 of old white people want him to drop out. Okay, let's just. And 2/3 people hate Congress. Over half don't like Nancy Pelosi. None of that's in there. None of that's in there. Almost 50% of the people don't have a favorable view of Trump. Okay. We need Biden, right? That's why they're pushing Biden, because Biden is for the war in Iran. Bernie is not. Sign the petition to tell Congress no war with Iran. The reason they keep pushing Biden and whoever it is, first it was Kamala, and then now they keep trying to push the corporate media. I guess it's Biden. He's our guy. He's our guy. He's our guy. Why does the corporate media, and why does this poll that was done by USA Today that called old white people, why do they want Joe Biden to win?
Because wealthy people are just as patriotic as poor people. Wealthy people are just as ready to pitch in as poor folks.
Thanks, Joe. In addition to your anti-segregationist or your pro-segregationist stance, I'm sorry, I get it all mixed up, but he's friends with all these segregationists, all that's come out, his middle ground climate policy. Joe Biden, as I've said before, is a fantastic Republican. He's a pro-choice Republican. Of course he loves segregation. Of course he drafted the Biden crime bill in 1994 and said all this racist language, these thugs, all this coded words to make white America afraid of the scary black criminals. That's why he did that. He's a Republican. He's a Republican. He's good for business because he loves rich people. Rich people put him in office. That's why they going to keep pushing these poll after poll, all these bullshit poll. Biden, that people are really starting to take a liking to. It's so great. Thankfully, this group, if you want to even include this, right? They're getting their news. The majority of these folks are getting their news where you are. On YouTube. But a lot of people in this age group, and this age group, and this age group, I know you're watching this show. You come up to me on the road. People ask, Graham, what's the demographic of the Progressive Comedy Tour? Or like when you do the Jimmy Dore Show lives, what's the demographic? I go, it's everybody. It's millennials on up to baby boomers and everyone in between. I'll tell you what it isn't. It isn't 70% white. Let's show we did in New York City and Boston and all these towns. It was everybody. It was every possible, because that's who's waking up to the lies that they're spewing on us. They're just jamming this bullshit into us. And they know this is why they put this up here, because I had to go in and click and go through. There's just a sublink to click to actually get the full poll. That's how I got all these stats. I had to go in there and read this long thing and screen cap it and put it in there. I had to do all this. Because they know if they just put this out there, a bunch of people and their bots on Twitter are going to just say, Bernie's he's dead in the water. He's done.
Because wealthy people are just as patriotic as poor people.
The ruling class is making
Wealthy people are just as ready to pitch in as poor folks.
This is the ruling class. The ruling class wants a war with Iran because it's good for business. It's good for the defense industry. It's good for the oil industry. I'm not voting for this jackass. I'm not pledging. If they push him 18 months from now, it's the whole point of having a primary. We all vote. We go through, we vet our candidates, and we see what they are and what they're all about. And Bernie's not perfect. He's pretty quiet on Venezuela. That bothers me a lot, that Bernie's quiet on Venezuela. Very, very bothersome that he, you know, a lot I like about Tulsi, but she just defended Biden having segregationist buddies on Twitter. That bothers me. But Bernie and Tulsi, in my opinion, are actual progressives. So is Mike Gravel. This is a corporatist. This is a pro-choice Republican. This is what Joe Biden is, a pro-choice Republican. So I'm going to keep, every time they try and jam it, I'm going to keep showing their lies and how their polls and everything else is nonsense. And all of you are supporting the show. So go to rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood. Those are great ways to support the show. Free ways to support the show. Like, subscribe. Even if you've hit the subscribe button. If you're watching me for the first time, just hit the subscribe button. Like the videos. Comments, that all help push these videos out on your social media. Even if you only have a couple hundred, followers to whatever social media platform you have. Watch the ads all the way through. When you click skip ad, I don't get paid. Thanks for watching.